We did touch 6100 in intraday trade today, and right now fairly flat. What the market breadth is doing is also interesting. Should pull up the market breadth for you and see what's really happening on the advanced decline ratio as well. Fairly muted, just about 1:1. What's keeping the index afloat are some heavyweights which are actually doing well and negating the pressure from some of the other key stocks. So Bharti, ONGC, ITC, these are stocks which pack a punch on the index, and these are the ones which are doing very well. So percent and a half or 2% for ITC, ONGC, Bharti. These are amongst the large caps. So autos though, and rate sensitives per se, leave aside a Hero MotoCorp, all the other auto stocks, Bajaj Auto, M&M, there is a Tata Motors, all of these are looking fairly weak in today's session. Results today, Sun Pharma slightly wobbly out of the numbers. Mind you, it had a spectacular run up yesterday, and Sun Pharma just about cooling off a little bit. The Gale is doing anything but cooling off, 2.5%, and it's been consistently about that 2% mark, around that 330, 331 level for most part of the trading day today. So that's doing okay. Power Grid and Hindalco amongst the other result boys in today's session. So watch out for these. They'll come out in due course of time today. The results impact being seen on a couple of small cap names. Peninsula Land down 5% after the numbers. Tata Chemicals, not the best of numbers, at least the reported numbers, but correcting a little bit, or rather recovering some of the lost ground. I think just one word on the star of today's session, and that has to be Coal India. 34% odd uptick in PAT, rationalization of prices, which will add around 2,000 crores. It may seem muted on a base of 20,000 crores quarterly revenue, but still an uptick nevertheless. Deutsche Bank has come out with an upgrade on the stock to buy on pricing power alone, and Bank of America Merrill Lynch has raised their FY 14-15 EPS estimates by 5% and 4% respectively. Let's get in Gargi and Darshan now to speak about what are the mid-cap movers in trade, as well as what's being heard on the street, or at least in the dealing rooms. Thanks so much for joining in, both of you. Gargi, mid-caps, and even in today's session, a large portion of the stocks are reacting to numbers.
That's right. It is earnings impacting most of these stocks. In fact, one of the top gainers in the BSE mid-cap space is Havells. They are, going to announce their fourth quarter numbers today, just ahead of the earnings. A good move there, over 2% increase on that counter. On the standalone side, we are expecting net profit up almost 14%. 103 crores is the estimate that the street has pegged for the net profit levels. The net sales levels seen at 1,200 crores. That's a 15% jump from last year levels. EBITDA margins, however, a slight decrease there, over 100 basis points decrease, about 13% versus a 14% on a year-on-year basis. Few other losers in today's session. One of the top losers is Peninsula Land. The net sales has decreased by 62%, 106 crores is what they've posted. Not a great number there. Look at the profit numbers also, 56% decline coming in, 36 crores versus an 82 crores. So clearly the decline making the street nervous, a sell-off that we are seeing on that front. Margins at 6.9% versus 35. It's, way below what we had seen in the last year level. So clearly a sell-off on that front. AstraZeneca, on the other hand, 11% decline, the top loser on the mid-cap space. The OFS has opened today. The floor price is 490, and that's way below the current market price of 702. That's why we are seeing this sell-off coming in AstraZeneca, and they've got bids worth about 1.1 lakh shares for now.
Thanks very much, Gargi, for identifying some of those top mid-cap movers. It's the auto space that has been quite an underperformer. Darshan, what are dealing rooms talking about?
See, Tata Motors will come out with numbers tomorrow, but mostly after marketers. But, a lot of dealers are now indicating that, that the JLR numbers could actually disappoint. Yesterday, we spoke about how the Sunday Times had reported the numbers of JLR's margins coming in below estimates. And clearly, if margins are below 15.5% to 16%, clearly it will mean it's a big negative for the counter. The counter is down, pretty much it's flat in trade, but clearly everyone's awaiting this result. And what we're hearing as far as, M&M is concerned is that, today the counter is down in trade. A large DII has been actually selling a lot of M&M. So more pressure on the downside is something that dealers are looking out for M&M.